Good afternoon, Wildcats. I'm Helen Reardon.
And I'm Emma Turton, and you're watching WCAT Weekly News.
Well, it's been a nice break from the desk. I'm excited to host the news for our last few weeks as seniors.
Me too. It'll be sad to leave the desk forever, and we know you'll miss us. But as you saw, we have a lot of incredible anchors to take over next year.
Speaking of the new anchors, Millie and Anissa have exciting news about prom this weekend.
What's up, Wildcats? I'm Anissa.
And I'm Millie.
With prom coming up, promposals have been all around.
Let's go hear about the most creative ones.
Wilson asked by bringing a poster to my house, and it had a reference to a show that we both like, and I'm really excited for prom.
So I was asked to prom by my friend Joe, and he did it by putting a sign up in Presley. And basically how I found out about it or whatever is that I was literally just sitting in Presley doing homework, and I was sitting with a friend, and she was like, "Oh, have you seen the sign?" I was like, "The what?" And I stood up and I saw it, and I texted him. I was like, "Yes," and it was super sweet, and I'm super excited for prom.
So I dated the same guy all of 11th and 12th grades, so we went to junior prom together, and when it came time for him to ask me to senior prom, he had saved the boutonniere that I gave him for junior prom, and he had dried it and pressed it, and he wrote me this really nice note, and he put the boutonniere into the note and had one of our class officers deliver it to us, or to me, during senior homeroom, and it was really sweet.
Oh, I got my prom date, Kara Stevens, a mariachi band for my ask. I thought it would be really fun and interesting, and she liked it, so it turned out great.
Get your cameras on. Oh my God.
You know who I want to take to prom?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I was a part of the Ask. I was the Joker in the Ask. And we created this skit. It was originally supposed to be in Hunter and Allison's English class with Miss Patel, but then when we heard we were having a grade-wide meeting, we decided to take it to a bigger level, a bigger stage. And I'd say it went pretty well. I think Allison was a little startled. She had no idea it was coming. Especially she had no idea it was coming like that. So it was definitely startling for her, but I'd say it was a whole lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it.
Millie, have you been asked to prom yet?
No, not yet. Have you?
No, but I have some pretty high expectations.
Anyways, we hope everyone has a great week leading up to the dance.
And we'll see you guys next week with some live footage from prom.
Now, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Millie and Anissa. Funny enough, our boyfriends haven't asked us to prom yet.
I guess we'll just have to take FIFO and Gideon. Anyways, Emma, what's your favorite poem?
Definitely one of Mr. Chart's poems.
You should definitely read it next Tuesday for Westminster's Poetry Tuesdays series.
Wondering what Poetry Tuesday is? Catherine and Ives have the whole story.
Hey cats, it's Catherine and Ives, and we're super stoked about Poetry Tuesdays. The librarians and English department worked super hard to bring back this weekly event. Let's go hear more.
When we started Poetry Tuesdays 8 years ago, it was just the idea of people getting together in April to celebrate National Poetry Month by sharing poems that they love. And so, it's a very simple process. That is that students email me, or faculty members or staff members email me, and I set a sign-up sheet, and people come and read poems that they love. They might talk for a few minutes about why they love the poem, and then we have food, and we just celebrate poetry that way. Now, this month, as we're sort of bringing it back, we want to focus on poetry of war and resistance and support of Ukraine, and we'll be having other fundraising efforts throughout the month. So really thrilled by the showing. And again, people can come for the food, they can come because they love poetry, they can come because they're required to. Either way, we had a great group, and we hope that more people come the next few weeks.
Wow, everyone did so great. We're so glad that Poetry Tuesdays are being brought back, and remember, you can always sign up in the weekly updates. But now back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Catherine and Ives. I can't wait to go listen to some poetry next Tuesday.
Helen, Remember when our friend and Spanish scholar, Julia Powers, won the Cesar Chavez competition?
How could I forget?
I know, right? Well, the results are in for this year's 2022 Cesar Chavez essay contest.
Yes, and Westminster swept the competition again. This year's first, second, and third place winners are Sam Moss, Mac Thompson, and Andy Garcha.
Last week, Sam Moss took a trip to the Georgia State Capitol to recite his essay. He was accompanied and supported by Mac and Andy.
Congratulations again to you all.
Another huge congratulations goes to next year's co-chairs.
Here's Jada and your future leaders.
Hi everyone, I'm Jada. Welcome back to a quick Q&A with our co-chairs for next year, Lauren James and Tyler Harris. Let's get to know them a little. So Lauren, what sports do you play?
I'm a proud member of the varsity lacrosse team. Let's go Wildcats.
And Tyler, what about you?
I also play lacrosse, and I'm also part of the basketball team.
Lauren, what's your favorite thing to do on Westminster's campus?
I love to get a coffee and croissant and barge.
And what about you, Tyler?
I'd say my favorite thing is probably hanging out with my friends on the second floor of Hawkins.
So what are your plans for next year?
We're really excited to formulate opportunities to connect with people, and we're even going to bring back something fun.
And Tyler?
Our biggest hope for next year is to bring back Field Day, and we'd be really excited to do that for you guys.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, guys. Back to you in the studio.
Congrats, Lauren and Tyler. Great to have you leading us.
Now let's introduce the new class presidents for the rising juniors, sophomores, and freshmen.
Anjani Naidu and Arjun Naidu for the rising sophomores.
Phillips Moore and Ava Ramsey for the juniors.
And Virginia Hernandez and Kanav Kakar for the seniors.
Congrats, everyone. Now let's go to Riley Sager with Wildcat Sports.
Thanks, Helen and Emma. Welcome to this week's Wildcat Sports Update. Girls gymnastics had a successful meet on Tuesday. Varsity finished in first place with 101.8 points, and JV also placed first with 79.25 points.
We had our Battle of Buckhead meet for gymnastics yesterday against Lovett and Pace at Lovett, and we finished first place as a team, as well as had first place finishers on all 4 events from Westminster. Looking forward, we have our senior night next week on Wednesday at home.
Good luck next week, Wildcats. Boys lacrosse had an impressive 8-7 overtime win against BT last week. The season started off slow, but the Laxcats are now hitting their stride and are on a winning streak. Junior attacker Aiden Woolley talks about tomorrow's matchup against Lovett.
So they're one of the best teams in the state right now. They've got a bunch of seniors, great defense, great offense. We're coming up with a lot of stuff on offense to try to exploit them, a lot of picks and stuff. And our defense, we're going to try and find some good matchups against 2 of their really good players, a Tufts commit and a Utah commit. And defense has been playing great, so they'll lock it down, and it'll be up to the offense to put the game away.
Thanks, Aiden. Make sure to come out for the game and for boys lacrosse senior night. Congrats to golfer William Love, who finished first in the Georgia-South Carolina Cup last weekend. William wrapped up the round with an overall score of 8 under. Good luck to the girls golf team as they return to the links next Monday for the Battle of the Borders match at Point University Course in Alabama. And finally, make sure to catch the boys and girls soccer squads in action today at Lovett for their last game of the regular season. The girls play on the Riverfront Field at 5:30 p.m. and boys kick off at the turf field at 7:30. That's all for this week. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Riley, and go Cats.
The holy month of Ramadan began on April 2nd. We are wishing a blessed Ramadan to everyone in the Westminster community who is observing the holiday.
And next week, we will turn our attention to Christian Emphasis Week here on campus.
Hey there, Wildcats. Reverend Charney here, talking about Christian Emphasis Week. Next week is Christian Emphasis Week, and we're going to be on the theme of the school motto. We're going to be talking about why it matters to each of you individually and collectively as a community, how it can better us to become the best people that we can. On Monday, we're going to have an assembly. Tuesday, we're going to be an advisement. Wednesday is an assembly again. And then Thursday is our annual Easter service. It'll be a great time for all of us to come together as a community and think about the bigger things of life. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Be on the lookout for any schedule changes and lots of messages from Reverend Charney.
Well, that's all for this week. I'm Emma Turton.
And I'm Helen Reardon. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week on WCAT Weekly News.